Today we're flying from BJX International Airport here in Guanajuato to Los Cabos International Airport on one of Mexico's most well-known budget airlines. Welcome aboard Volaris, one of Mexico's most well-known budget airlines. Is it a viable option to travel to and around Mexico? We're about to find out.
If you're considering flying Volaris for your next getaway, stick around. We're sharing everything from check-in to clearing baggage claims. Volaris is our go-to airline when we're traveling around Mexico or flying back to the States. We found some great round-trip deals between Mexico and the Oakland airport where we fly home to.
And Volaris has some great national routes too. We've seen flights, believe it or not, for as low as 9 pesos. That's 50 US cents for national trips. And 49 pesos, that's $2.50 for international trips plus tax. You might still catch those deals for flights between January and April 2026.
We have flown Volaris dozens of times over the years. It's kind of our go-to when we're not doing long-haul flights. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video. This is just us giving our honest opinion.
And when you're traveling light or planning ahead, the prices are hard to beat. You just have to be strategic about things like baggage and seat selection.
We usually book directly through their website or their app. It's pretty user-friendly, though sometimes the site freezes. It's a good thing to know, or doesn't take your US cards. But with a little patience, we can usually get our tickets just fine.
If you're hunting for those ultra low fares, try being flexible with your travel dates, avoid weekends and holidays, and definitely book early. That's usually when those crazy cheap tickets show up.
When you're flying with a low-cost airline like Volaris, it helps to know exactly what to expect before you even get to the airport.
So now that we're settled here in Cabo, let's walk you through our experience from planning and booking to check-in, boarding, and what the flight was actually like. Our flight from León, technically the Guanajuato International Airport, or BJX, to Cabo was about 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's a quick and easy hop to the tip of Baja California.
We drove to the airport from our home in San Miguel de Allende. Since we had a car, that was the easiest option for us. But if you're visiting without your own transportation, there are other ways to get to BJX.
For solo travelers to and from San Miguel de Allende, a shared shuttle runs about $30 each way, but if you're traveling as a couple or in a small group, a private car is usually worth it. Those cost around $90 to $100 for up to 3 people.
BJX is our closest airport, and even though it's a regional airport, it's gotten pretty busy over the years. I can remember back in 2010, after Mexicana shut down, this place maybe had 4 departures a day.
Yeah, it was a ghost town back then. Not anymore. Now all of the major Mexico and international airlines fly here. It's small, but it does the job.
We checked in online ahead of time, which made things much easier.
Not that long ago, even if we did early check-in through the application, we still had to walk up to the counter and do a physical check-in.
Made
I don't
no
know
sense.
why
Yeah,
they
made
had
no
us do
sense.
that, but now
They wanted you to walk up with a boarding pass and your identification in order to go check in for them to give you another boarding pass.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. They don't do that anymore, thank goodness. And so if you're flying carry-on, you don't have to check in at the counter. Just go through security and straight in. Just be sure that if you're flying internationally, that you do have your passport, because they won't let you board without your passport. On this trip though, we did check a bag. So back to the line it was. The airport today seems a little bit less crowded than in the past. It seems like, I don't know if maybe it's because of the day of the week or the season.
Or the time. We always take early morning flights, which, believe it or not, are actually the busiest times, I think, because there's always a crowd.
Yeah, so the check-in process was so super easy. Usually the line is backed up all the way to the door, and we walked right up, did our check-in, a couple minutes, and we were on our way to security.
Yeah, there were hardly any people in the line.
For some reason, everybody's lined up right now, even though we have zones to board. We're actually zone number 2. We're just chilling and waiting, staying back and seeing what happens, but we'll see how smoothly the boarding goes. All right, so we're half an hour late. Let's hope it doesn't get any worse. The plane just landed, so I think we'll be all right.
We get to board on the tarmac.
Yeah, good thing it's a nice day. Not too hot.
And it's not raining.
Yeah.
Normally we fly to the US and we board through a jet bridge in Guanajuato, But for this domestic flight to Cabo, we actually walked across the tarmac and boarded up the stairs.
I kind of like how Volaris handles boarding. After they scan your pass, they line everyone up just outside of the jet bridge or on the tarmac. And once the plane is ready, boarding moves fast and smooth.
The aircraft looks surprisingly clean and modern, especially for a 12-year-old plane. And this was an Airbus A320-200 that's been in service with Volaris since March of 2013. We just wanted to interrupt here to mention that on our return flight, we were really looking forward to flying on the brand new 2025 A320neo airplane. But we were so disappointed. Volaris made some changes to the interior design and the amenities, and really not in a good way. All right, let's get back to the video. And here's something fun. Volaris gives their planes names. This one has had a few. It started as Daniel back in 2013, and then it became Ricardo, and then Maria, and now it goes by Los Medina.
If anyone knows why Volaris renames or even names their planes in the first place, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know.
Volaris uses an all-economy layout. 3 seats on each side. Legroom? It's tight.
It's kind of tight. I mean, this guy isn't reclining, so we'll see how I do if he does recline. I'm 6'3.5", so it's kind of a tight squeeze, but it is a budget airline. So.
And on the new A320neo, Volaris has completely removed the seat reclines.
We're leaving Cabo, flying back home, and we just noticed that these chairs don't recline. It's a brand new plane, but there's no button. So there's no reclining on this airplane.
We'll definitely need to do a little bit more of research on aircraft types before booking future flights, especially anything longer than an hour or two. Not sure we can do a 4-hour flight back to the Bay Area on seats that don't recline.
There's a small recline, no power outlets, and no seat back screens. But honestly, the plane felt clean and well maintained, especially considering the age.
They do offer onboard entertainment now. It's streamed to your device over their Wi-Fi network. It was a little glitchy, but if you can get it to load, you'll find movies, TV shows, games, and the Volaris magazine.
It's not free though. You'll need to pay 20 pesos, about $1 US, not too bad, to unlock the show. But here's a tip. If you order a snack on board, you'll usually get a coupon for 1 free show.
Pro tip. Bring your own device preloaded with shows or podcasts just in case the Wi-Fi cuts out on you or you don't feel like paying.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. And here's another update from the A320neo. Volaris has completely removed the entertainment system. So no movies, no nothing. So bring your own device. Definitely preload your own content.
Also, when booking, you can choose a premium seat for a little bit more. If you need extra leg room, it's worth considering, especially for taller travelers or longer flights. Volaris does not include food or drinks, so you'll either need to bring your own or buy something on board.
Looking through the menu, it's pretty much what you'd expect. Chips, sodas, popcorn, sandwiches, instant soups, and a variety of alcoholic beverages.
We usually pack our own snacks, but this flight was short, so we didn't bother. That said, somewhere over Mexico, we got a craving for a bag of chips and a soda to share.
And the total? 125 pesos. That's about $6.50. Not outrageous, but definitely more than you'd pay at an OXXO, which is our Mexican 7-Eleven.
If you have dietary restrictions or just want to save a few bucks, definitely bring your own snacks. Just make sure they're sealed and easy to eat without needing cutlery.
And don't count on anything warm unless you're getting the instant soup. They'll just add hot water, and that's about it. So it's more a convenience store than cafe. The restroom was clean, but tiny. No surprises there.
It's basically what you would expect on a low-cost flight. Functional, but definitely not spacious. Just enough room to turn around if you plan ahead.
That's it. And if you're tall, you'll have to duck and pivot, and maybe wish you'd skip that second bottle of water altogether.
The flight was smooth and surprisingly quiet. If you're in a window seat, you'll catch some incredible views, especially on the approach into Cabo.
Yeah, that descent was absolutely stunning. You've got this mix of desert landscape, rugged mountains, and then suddenly, boom, the ocean. Definitely worth grabbing a window seat for, if you can.
It was one of those moments where you forget you're on a budget flight, just totally beautiful. We arrived just a few minutes behind schedule and landed at Terminal 1. That's the domestic terminal for SJD. Since this was a domestic flight, there was no need to go through customs. We did check a bag though, so we had to wait at baggage claim, and because we checked in early in Guanajuato, our bag ended up being one of the last ones off the plane.
And for those wondering, no swarm of timeshare agents this time. It's probably because we came in on a domestic flight, but if you're arriving from the US, trust us, walk straight past them.
Baggage claim in Cabo is usually pretty quick unless your suitcase decides to take the scenic route.
Ours took its sweet time, but hey, more time to enjoy the AC.
Let's break it down with our A and F Beyond thumb scale, our fun, completely unscientific way to rate travel experiences.
We'll score the check-in process, seat comfort, food, entertainment, and service on a 1 to 5 thumbs up scale. Let's talk about the check-in. Since we arrived early, there were no lines. The agent took us right away, and we were done within a couple of minutes. 4 thumbs up.
Next, let's talk about seat comfort. We give that a 2 thumbs up because the seats were tight. You don't have a lot of knee room. So if you're tall, it's a little hard for you. But if you're not tall, then I guess it's a little easier. Okay, it's time for another update because after flying back on the A320neo with those non-reclinable seats, we're officially revising our rating. The seat comfort now gets 0 thumbs up.
And if we could give it negative thumbs up,
We would.
yeah. Next, the food. Nothing was free. Anything you wanted to eat, you had to buy. The selection was just okay. We'll give it 1 thumbs up. Next, service. They were professional, courteous, efficient. We honestly didn't have too much interaction with them, and that's okay. 5 thumbs up.
Overall, we give Volaris a 4 thumbs up. Let's call it 3 thumbs up. We can live without the in-flight entertainment because we can always preload our own phones or devices with movies and TV shows. But the non-reclinable seats are a deal breaker, honestly. And I really hope that this is not a new trend for all airlines.
I have a feeling it is.
Oh my gosh.
This flight wasn't fancy, but we didn't expect it to be. For a budget airline, Volaris was totally fine for this short hop, and even for longer flights like from the States. Not the case anymore. Those new seats have totally changed our view. On future trips, we'll be looking at other airlines like United or anything else other than Volaris now, and might be willing to pay a little bit more to get a little bit of recline on our seats for longer flights.
Non-reclining seats for a short trip might be fine, but for a long flight from BJX to Oakland, for example, that's too long to not be able to recline your chair even an inch or two and be sitting straight up the whole entire flight. It's just not comfortable.
Yeah, I think for national flights within Mexico,
Yeah.
it might be okay, but anything outside of Mexico where you have to go 3, 4, 5 hours, I don't know how long the flight is to Chicago, but I think it's a 5-hour flight. And it's a red-eye flight, so...
Oh yeah, no red eye on a chair that doesn't recline. I guess you would have to check to see what type of aircraft you will be flying for your flight. And if it's not one of these new airplanes, then I think it's okay. We've done it many times.
Yeah.
But this new non-reclining seat, you really need to be careful.
Yeah.
The value is definitely there. We paid 6,653 pesos, about $340 US for 2 round-trip tickets. That's just $170 per person. They did get us on the baggage though. Adding 1 checked bag cost us an extra 2,622 pesos, or about $135 round trip.
So the total cost for this flight, for 2 people and 1 checked bag, came to around $475. That's still pretty good.
Pro tip, if you want to save money, don't check a bag.
And let's talk about our experience heading back to BJX and going to Querétaro. It was supposed to be a 1 hour and 40-minute flight return home, and it's the rainy season. We get major storms in the evening time. What happened was that right as we were getting ready to land,
Descending into BJX.
we couldn't because there was a really heavy storm, and we saw it afterwards on social media that it was really a strong storm. So I understand why they didn't want to land the plane. And we did a couple of loops, but then all of a sudden we were deviated to Querétaro, and it turns out it was because the airplane didn't have enough fuel. And I think the airline should have planned for that. It's not a surprise that we have rainstorms at that time of the night, and it would have just been for a much more comfortable flight for us, and the airline would have saved on fuel. It was just a really bad experience, and we were on that new A320neo that didn't have any reclinable seats, and so it was late at night.
Yeah.
It just was not a pleasant experience.
So we were supposed to land at 8:20, but because we took off late, we were supposed to land at 9:20, and then we went to Querétaro, spent an hour at the Querétaro airport sitting on the plane in the very uncomfortable seats, and that wasted a whole other hour before we then went back to BJX. So by the time we landed, it was 11:30.
Yeah, so we were sitting on those non-reclinable seats for almost 4 hours, and
Yeah.
that was just too much.
Besides the fact we were already tired and it was very late at night. We really just wanted to lay down, but we couldn't. Maybe if it had been an earlier flight in the day, but they usually, those type of flights, they leave late.
And that particular airplane was destined for Chicago afterwards, and so it was going to leave at 1 in the morning, fly all night long to Chicago. I feel sorry for those
For
people.
those people, yeah. So it was not a fun experience.
No, it was not. It really made me think twice about wanting to book with Volaris again. It's still the cheapest option.
Yeah.
And if you're tight on a budget and you don't care about not being able to recline, it might still be for you. And it might still be for us on occasion if we want to save.
But you have to go with the flow and know that you're flying a budget airline, no frills, and things happen, and you have to just be okay with that. And stick around, we've got more content from Cabo coming up soon. Day trips, driving in Baja, local food, all the good stuff. So be sure to click the bell to be notified whenever we post something new.
Thanks for flying with us. See you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.